Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Schneider's Golf. I'm Eric. Alright. I can now do a puzzle. Over the past 10 years, I've made it a point to buy from local artists, small businesses, and craftsmen. And what I love most is all the great stories behind the art. Join me and we'll visit the backyard workshops, the she sheds, the DIY dinner tables, where makers like you are turning their medium of choice into some pretty cool art. Welcome to Next Door Makers. Today I'm here with my good friend, Eric Schneiter. And I have been so impressed with what Eric has been making right here in his shop, in his backyard at Schneider's Bluff. Yep. We're in the man cave right now, and I'm surrounded by CNC mills that Eric has retrofitted and really learned a whole ton about. This is such a cool shop. And Eric, tell us a little bit about the shop and what you're making in here.
Okay, well this is pretty much just a shed.
Yeah.
So nothing fancy, you know, we've got a little bit of warm air that comes out, no air conditioning.
Yeah.
So nothing too crazy. A couple years ago, I got into CNC milling because I wanted to make custom golf clubs. So, because we're in the golf industry, obviously.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make custom golf clubs, custom repair tools, custom markers, just things that are really bespoke and one-off type stuff. And so to do that, I started out with a 3D printer, and that was cool. Yeah. You know, you'd make things out of plastic. And I remember the first time I watched a 3D printer, the second that filament came out of the end of the extruder, it was like a hit of cocaine for me. Like, I was so into it. And so I had other things that I was making, and plastic just wasn't strong enough. So I needed to, you know, start working with different materials like denser plastics, aluminum, you know, metal. And that's kind of where all these CNC mills started showing up. So
I'm really excited to explore this place. I've been here before and seen some of the work that Eric's doing, but it is just blown up. Go check him out at eric.schneider. Mm-hmm. And he's got Instagram, Facebook, and a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you can actually see him in action making the putters, the repair tools, and even trialing some of this stuff right here.
Yeah.
It's really cool stuff.
Yeah. Glad to have you guys here today, dude.
Yeah.
This will be fun.
So, Eric, what are we making today?
So, you guys being the guests of honor today, we are going to make you your own custom repair tool that says Next Door Maker.
No way.
So, it'll have your logo on it, and you put your name on the side, and we're going to show you the process that we go through to cut the metal, saw the metal, mill the metal, all the steps involved. So,
I'm in.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
It'll be cool. All right, so step number one is we have to set up our workpiece. We have to set up the machine. There's a lot of
safety glasses on.
You've got to have your safety glasses on. So there's some preparation steps that are happening. We have our piece of metal here that we're going to start off with, just a random piece of 304 stainless steel. We're going to affix it in these jaws in the vise.
Okay.
So these are specific jaws to the job. I have different jaws for, you know, putters, and all the different parts that we make have different jaws to hold them. So these are the jaws for this job. We're going to put the metal in here, we'll put it into the vise, and then we have to tell the machine what job we're doing, where it's located at, and kind of how big it is and stuff. And then once all of those parameters are in, we can click go and we can cut the metal. So it's kind of a process.
Super simple.
But we're going to go through it and you'll see how it's done. So we're going to start off by setting up the vise and the workpiece here.
Awesome.
So these vise jaws are kind of cool because you can slide them in and out really easy. So if you have different jobs, you can just interchange them quickly. Different kinds of vices. They're cumbersome, you have to screw them in and out. These are just quick change, so it works really well. We're gonna throw our piece of metal in here, and we want to make sure that we have it secured inside of the vise nice and tight. We don't want it to get flipped out and come for our faces. So we're going to make sure that it's strapped down, because it's going to go for a ride while it's in here. We're going to take a couple of these tools out, we're going to reset them with our hands, and then we'll put them back up in the machine. A couple little things of machine anatomy. This is called the spindle. This is a tool holder here, and this is the actual tool. This is a carbide end mill, and that comes in and out. That's kind of what it looks like. It goes up inside there, and there's different holders and holder diameters, and for this job we're going to be using a couple holders that are 1/4 inch and an 1/8 inch. So we need to put this back up in here, and we're actually going to switch this tool out with one that's in this tool magazine here. This is called a tool changer, and what that does is it kind of automates the process. Instead of me having to change the tool each time with my hand, the machine does it on its own. So it saves me time. I can go do other tasks, clean, and the machine will run kind of autonomously or unattended.
So there's a lot of shops where I have the opportunity to like participate and do a little bit of hands-on. I mean, Eric is a great teacher here. This stuff is pretty intimidating, but he makes it look easy. And what's really cool, and we're going to talk more about this, but he's really taught himself how to operate this machine, how to design the tools, how to do this whole process from start to finish. It really is amazing. We just went through the process of setting tool heights, changing out the tools, making sure that we're using the right tools for the right job, and we're going to get cutting this repair tool.
We're going to show the machine really quick where the repair tool metal's at, and then we'll hit go and it'll start cutting.
Sweet. Chips will be flying.
Chips will fly.
Oh!
There you go. There you go. You're a machinist now.
I'm a machinist. I did it.
So we have all of this, and that's the only critical thing. It's kind of overkill. It's kind of funny. All right, here we go. We are going to run this program. So we better load the program first.
So now he's just got to tap into the matrix and we'll be able to run this program. So the first side's done, and we're gonna flip it around in the soft jaws and get ready for the second side.
All right, so we actually are gonna put in a different jaw. We're gonna take it over onto the smaller mill, and then we'll do the other side on it.
Cool.
So pretty.
Check that thing out so far. So now we're just gonna put this in the soft jaws, and we'll get using the Tormach engraving tool.
We're gonna take that big flat part off the top first. We're gonna make the same profile as on the bottom, which is kind of tricky because to match the exact same profile, we've got to be within, a thou or less.
Yeah.
So that's 0.001 inches or less. So we're dealing in a pretty tight tolerance. So we're going to turn our coolant on, or we'll run it without coolant for a second, and let's do this second operation.
Awesome. So we've got the mill running over here, and now this is really where Eric fulfills custom orders. What kind of stuff are you doing for people from orders?
So this right here is an example of one I just did. Like, this is a totally custom putter, So every surface on there can be customized for the customer. So that's a kid that's, you know, into the Utes, got his name on the bottom. You can see it there. Custom
That's
dots,
so cool.
you know, different face type patterns and stuff. On repair tools, I get a lot of, you know, company logos, people that have a pet, like pets are super common. They want like a paw for a dog or something. Names of kids are super common, so stuff like that. We love you, Dad. Like, so anything that somebody wants to send as a gift, really, or buy for themselves, that's what I do.
How much of this ends up being Father's Day gifts?
When it's Father's Day, there's a lot of Father's Day.
Yeah.
You know, Christmas time is Christmas stuff. There's, you know, different seasons. Sometimes I'll make stuff for like certain golf tournaments that people are into, the Masters, stuff like that. So
We've all got a golfer in our life, and there's no need of a special occasion to just surprise them with
it's true.
a custom-made repair tool or putter. Or
I mean, Dave still needs one right now.
yes, he does. All right, so now he's got the logo imported over to mill. So it's done, and taking this out, check this out. That finish is pristine.
It's pretty cool.
The piece comes out of the mill, and it's on to just polishing. And
Yeah, so there's different kinds of finishes. You know, sometimes we'll do like a sandblasted finish on this. Sometimes it's just like the sanding grit look.
yeah,
Or the buffing wheel over there. Like if we put it on there, this thing will be like a mirror finish. So there's different ways you can finish the metal.
any paint colors you want, really.
Yeah, you could fill that in any way you wanted it. Sometimes you do it by the letter. Sometimes it's a whole logo. So it just depends on the customer's preference, you know.
Yeah, you'll have to check these out. You can go to ericschneiter.com, and on there you can custom order all sorts of stuff. You can make these, and the golfer in your life would love to have one of these divot repair tools.
Yeah, they're fun. I have fun making them. It's fun to see like what people's ideas are and what they, you know, what's personal to them and what they want to have on it. So it's cool.
As always, what I love about this is the passion behind the maker, and you know what you've created here. We were kind of talking off camera about, you know, it's website design, it's teaching yourself CAD, it's you know, programming these machines, pulling out the computer and putting in a new one. I mean, it is
a lot,
and it's super cool. What's kind of been some of the most exciting steps along the way?
So I initially hired somebody to do all the retrofitting, and when that didn't work out, you know, I had a guy pretty much take my money, and so that I got burned on that, you know. And so to do it yourself and to figure out how to actually like build a CNC mill from the ground up has been the coolest part of this whole thing. Because I honestly didn't think I'd ever be able to do something like that. It's such an overwhelming thing when you embark on it, but then once you do it, you're like, wow, that was like, I look at the second one and it's going to be easy. So it's cool.
I'm just super impressed at what you've created here, and your passion, and you're doing it. This is amazing.
Thanks, man.
And
thanks for coming out to visit.
Yeah.
It's fun to have been friends our whole lives, but to be able to kind of show you a little bit of what I do in my spare time.
Oh man,
you know? We don't get to see each other
it's a privilege.
as often now that we're older.
Yeah.
So it's fun to just hang out and be able to do this kind of fun stuff. So.
Yeah, this is honestly so much fun to come and see what you're passionate about. So thanks for sharing it with me.
Thanks for coming out, guys. Thanks for coming to Schneider's Golf.
I was watching your NES build with my little boy, and he goes, "Dad, we need to get some tools." So what are some of the tools that you have in the shop that you're using for just the entire process?
So the bandsaw, that's critical. Got to have that to cut the raw stock. The big mill, which can take big cuts. The little mill for like engraving. The welder, anytime I need to weld. The belt sander, I use the heck out of that thing. And then all the different fixturing that goes in the vices.
I really wanted to ask that to really show the breadth of what you're doing here.
There's a lot of tools involved.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy at Harbor Freight recognizes me.
Yes. So you've taught yourself, I mean, you're self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
And did you teach yourself, CAD and all that other stuff to build putters? Or did you start building putters because you now have that capability?
So I initially started because I wanted to build this product for the golf industry called the E-Wheels, what is now called the E-Wheels. Mine was going to be called the Tube Caddy, and it was going to go on these push carts and make them remote control.
I remember that, seeing some of that.
And I knew it was going to be a thing. And like right as I was filing for my patent, my aunts went to the PGA show and there was my invention there. It was like one of the worst days of my life.
Yeah.
Because I had like gone through the whole thing, like R&D'd it and everything.
Holy cow.
And so that was kind of how I got into design. I started out making like these crazy blocky shapes in CAD, and CAD was just kind of getting to where you could use it for free.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I got into it. And then when that didn't pan out, I started making just other stuff on the mills and stuff.
That's awesome. You've got a video on YouTube called Crazy Putter Challenge.
Uh-huh.
And there's like a whole bunch of different putters you guys are using.
Yeah.
What are some of the putters that you've made just for fun or for video?
So this is probably one of the most crazy putters I've built. This is a motorized putter.
Okay.
I don't think it's charged, but it's battery powered and the heads spin in a circle like this. So that was crazy. There's a ton of like mechanical, electrical design in that.
Not only did you build each and every one of these heads, you built the motor, the mechanism, the entire
everything.
Thing. Yeah,
so that was crazy. That was a big build. That was a labor of love for the internet. This is like a 2-headed iron that I built just to mess around with. So that's not a putter per se, but it's still a crazy golf club.
Yeah.
And then we have the iconic Lego putter that was inspired by Gold Yeller, who's probably the most popular Lego stop motion artist in the world.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's cool. We've met certain people and done different projects, but these are just some of the crazy putters that we've made.
So much cool stuff. That's awesome. With all the putters that you built and other tools, who was the first recipient of? I know that you built them for people that you love and care about. Who was the first recipient of Eric
the
Schneiter
first
putter?
person that really like had faith in me and was like, dude, I really want that, was a kid named Tyler Bone.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know Tyler, but he's a golf addict, and yeah, he came over, and I remember it was like the first time I made like several $100s to make a golf club, and it was the coolest thing in the world. So yeah,
that's awesome.
It was Tyler Bone. So he's got what we call the T-bone. That putter's out there, and it's cool. It's one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life was make a putter for him. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun to have somebody have faith in you to make them something.
Yeah. Well, and for all you makers out there, as you explore and just put your effort in, you'll be able to make something for somebody that you love, and you'll be able to feel that experience.
Half the fun is that somebody's going to enjoy it as much as you enjoyed making it.
Yeah.
And people are so into making it their own.
Yeah.
And for me in this little niche, that's kind of what I love about it.
We've seen your shop. You've shown us around. I'm super excited about the repair tool. Thank you for that.
Yeah, for sure.
What's next for Eric Schneiter and Schneider's Golf?
Schneider's Golf has a big, bright future.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of different avenues to go. As far as this is concerned, I want to keep making crazy putters and get the name out there more. And this is kind of an avenue for me to tell our story in a different way. I'm not that great of a golfer, but people have noticed the clubs that I make. So that's kind of been the avenue that I've been able to spread our name and tell people who the Schneiders are.
I love it. Go check this out. Eric's making great stuff. He's got YouTube videos. You can check him out on Instagram and his website, ericschneider.com.
Yeah.
So thanks again,
guys.
man.
Thank you. Kevy, thanks for being here, dude. Loved it.
I love it.
A lot of fun. These are all mistakes. As you can see, there's been a long journey to get to where we are today.
Yeah.
Lots of different parts and mistakes, and you learn as you go, right?
Yeah. So, so you've got a video.
Go ahead. I have a lot of programs that start with SHT. We should have closed the jaws a little bit here.
Just in the zone.
In the zone.
There's usually metal playing in here.